What's up, guys? Everyday Shooter back again. Got another quick video for you today. Today we are going to get rid of GeForce Experience, simplify our processes for our CPU when it comes to our GPU and driver installation. We're going to limit and remove telemetry and get more control over our system in general. All right, let's hop into Control Panel and get rid of NVIDIA GeForce Experience. Search. Alright, so we are going to keep the Control Panel app if you have that already. If you do not, we will be downloading it here in a few minutes. Definitely keep that. A couple of things, we are going to remove these two items here, NVIDIA GeForce Experience, or anything you have involving NVIDIA. The only three things we need to keep here are the graphics driver, whatever version you have, the HD audio driver, and the PhysX system software. Those are the only three things that we need from NVIDIA for our drivers to work wonderfully. We are going to get rid of this. We do not need. And we're going to get rid of the GeForce Experience app. Again, we are going to leave NVIDIA Control Panel app if you already have that. If you do not, no worries, we will be downloading it soon. Alright, and it may take a few moments for that to uninstall. Perfectly okay. Once it's been successfully removed, we can close this. Alright, and this is what you should have when you do an NVIDIA search. These are the things, the items that we are going to need going forward. We are going to download the NvidiaCleanInstall tool next, but first, go into your recycle bin. Make sure we don't have any remnants of the file we just deleted. If you do have anything in there, delete it and then restart your system. All right, the next thing we're going to do, open your web browser, whatever you use. I do use DuckDuckGo for myself. We're going to do the NVIDIA Clean Install tool. Should come up under Tech Power Up is the website. Make sure that is the website you're clicking on. Where we have, we're going to download the NVIDIA Clean Install tool. When you click here, it's going to take you to another screen. Just install that tool. All right. If you want to make you feel more comfortable right before you download it, you can right-click on it and have Windows Defender scan it. But I've been using it for a while. I haven't had any issues with it. So, yeah, get that downloaded. We'll go from there. All right, once you have that downloaded, the next thing we're going to do, you're going to open that NVIDIA Clean Installer tool. In fact, when you first click on it, it's going to give you this screen, and you want to go ahead and click here, install NVIDIA Clean Install on this machine, and then click next. It will install it, and then it should bring you back to this screen. So once you've installed NVIDIA Clean Install on your machine, it's going to bring you back to this screen. You can just click Install Best Driver for my hardware. That's going to give you the newest version of NVIDIA drivers, which is 546.33 currently. I had rolled mine back to 537.58 because in the Modern Warfare 3 config files, there's now in the settings, it says recommended best driver for at startup of game, and is showing this driver. So I rolled it back to that driver, tried it. To me, I don't think that driver is any better. Actually, I got a little bit less frames and a little bit less low firsts. So I'm going to manually select my driver version, and I want to go back to the first one they released for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which was 546.01. But if you just want to do the newest driver, it'll always be on the top. Whatever the newest driver is will always be up top here. So here I'm going to go to this one. If you want to do the newest driver, that's up to you. Just click on that one, and the desktop version. All right, I know it says Windows 10, but as you can see here, it just doesn't have room to say Windows 11, 64-bit, blah, 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 blah. All right, 54.0, 546.01 for me. Choose whichever you'd like, the newest version. Just make sure it's the desktop version. I don't click this. This is the whole reason we're doing this, is to get rid of telemetry, to get rid of things running in the background. So we're not going to check there. You know, if you game a lot like I do, you hear around that there's a new driver out, you know, gaming with the boys, whatever it is. Or you can just go to the NVIDIA website at any point, and it'll tell you what the newest version is. So we're going to click Next here. All right, here's the cool thing here. So all these things, especially if you have GeForce Experience, all of these things are going to come with every download, okay? All this shit you do not need. Virtual audio, telemetry, no. NV container, NV platform controllers, GeForce Experience, none of this stuff do we need. All of this creates more processes that we do not need. The whole point of using this tool is to get rid of all these things. Right up here, we're only going to need the top three. These are the only three drivers you need to successfully play a game. Okay, unless like if this driver right here is if you're playing with an Oculus or some kind of tool that a USB tool that is required for the game, but otherwise you don't need any of this stuff here. Okay, so all we're going to need is these 3 items. You have those selected. We're going to click next. So the file copy there, it may take about 30 seconds. Just let that complete. If it stops periodically, don't worry, there's nothing wrong. Here we have installation tweaks. This is the next step in using the NVIDIA Clean Installer tool. Disable all installer telemetry and advertising. Absolutely. We don't want to click this because we're going to have NVIDIA Clean Install is going to oversee the installation through the NVIDIA website. Perform a clean install. Yes, I choose this every time. I want the previous version or whatever it may be, anything that was put onto my GPU as a driver, I want that completely removed. I want to start from scratch each time. All right, that's all we're going to need to select here. But if you do want to see here, show expert tweaks, there's a lot of other cool features here. I'm not up to date enough on what these are to feel comfortable in using them. A lot of these even say they're experimental. So I'm going to stay away from those until I know more about them. So for now, I'm going to move on with just these 2 items selected, and we're going to click next. And here, install. All right, you see this is going to tell us what's going on up here. And we're going through the NVIDIA graphics driver installation from the site itself. Agree and continue here. Here you're going to want to click custom since we've customized our install. Click custom, and next is showing you the things that are going to happen. You're getting these 3 items only and performing a clean installation. There we go, guys. We've got a little flash of a black screen. We see everything here is now installed. Again, if this comes to this screen and says NVIDIA installation has failed, it'll be these 2 items that have failed, because when this is installed the first time, sometimes it will trigger a restart without finishing the installation of these 2. Again, you'll just go right back through the process I just showed you, and it will complete the rest of the installation. Most of the time it does all 3 the first time. But again, don't freak out. Everything's fine. Just go right back through the process and get that installed. We're going to click close. All right, and after that, our installation is complete. We can close this as well. Here, I go ahead and restart my computer if you want to do that very quickly. All right, guys, and then we're going to hop into the Microsoft Store here, and we are going to find the NVIDIA control panel if we don't already have that on our computer. Very simple. Find that app here, download it here. Again, so we're going to have the NVIDIA Clean Installer and the NVIDIA control panel will be the 2 apps that will be necessary going forward to download our drivers as we need them and to have full control over our settings in the NVIDIA control panel. Otherwise, we don't have all the other telemetry. We don't have all the other stuff running in the background. Really going to simplify our processes and give us more control over our system. All right, and the one thing we do have to do here is we're going to always have to go into our NVIDIA control panel after doing a clean install. Our settings will be reset. Most of them come preset the way they need to be, so there's only a couple of things we'll have to tweak each time. If you want to save this video, or you can always come back here for your settings. There's plenty of other places online to grab these settings. If you're using 2 PCs like I am, I have a gaming PC and a streaming PC, always just do the installation here first, and then I just look over to my streaming PC and pull up my NVIDIA control panel there and copy it here, and then vice versa. Then I do the update on my other computer and look here to those settings. All right, so we'll go through these really quickly. All right, so we're just going to run through these settings very quickly. First, adjust image settings with preview. The very first thing we always have to do here is use the advanced 3D image settings. Always make sure that is clicked off here, or else we're not using any of these settings in game. All right, manage 3D settings will be next. Here's the biggest, most time-consuming part. Image scaling always off, ambient occlusion off, anisotropic filtering, application controlled, off here for FXAA, gamma correction. We want to turn that off. All right. Going down, anti-aliasing mode here will be application controlled, as well as the setting underneath that. Anti-aliasing transparency off. Background application max frame rate, always set that to low. So I'll put this on, just 30 is fine. CUDA GPUs, we want that to all. Driver default, off, low latency mode here. We want to put this on. Again, we'll change to ultra in our program settings for a particular game, but just our general, we want low latency mode, but the ultra performance is unnecessary for basic tasks. All right, we're gonna have our max frame rate off. Monitor technology. I turn this to fixed refresh. I do not use G-Sync. If you are playing any FPS, first-person shooter, competitive, online, multiplayer, battle royale, you want this on fixed refresh, not G-Sync. G-Sync is creating fake frames, and it creates more latency. If you're playing a single-player game, you just want it to look as good as possible. You want to have those higher frame rates, even though they're generated. Go ahead and click G-Sync in that scenario. Otherwise, we want fixed refresh always. Right? Multi-frame sampled MFAA off. Open GL GDI compatibility. We want that set to auto. Rendering GPU auto select. I go ahead and just select my GPU here in case you have a built-in graphics driver in your Intel chip. You want to make sure it's not using that for anything. So always just check off your GPU here. Power management mode here. We're going to set this to normal here. When we go to our in-game program settings, we'll change that to maximum performance. Let's see. Preferred refresh rate will be application controlled. Shader cache size driver default. Texture filtering anisotropic off. Sorry. Sample. This will be on, I'm sorry. All right, moving on. Next, texture filtering, negative LOD bias. That's going to be allow texture filtering quality. We want to set that to performance, not high performance or high quality, but to performance. Okay. Trilinear optimization on, threaded optimization, auto, triple buffering off, vertical sync. We definitely make sure this is turned off. We do not want to use VSync to create frames. It's going to also cause more latency that we do not need. All right. Underneath that, we should be, everything else here should be good to go. We'll just click apply now. All right. Those are now changed here. All right. So now that we've changed those, if you want to take a picture of this, a screenshot, maybe, that way you can save these settings, and then anytime in the future when you do a new driver install, you have those and you can just reference them and change them back to the way they should be. It does change a few things when you do a clean install. As you can see, we've changed those back to what they need to be here, or you can just save this video and watch it later and go through it each time this way. The next thing we're going to do is in program settings, we are going to adjust settings for the particular game that we're playing. But what we're going to do instead of trying to find it here is when you go here to recently use, since we have a clean install, it's not going to show a game that we've recently used. In Browse, I've had the hardest time trying to find the exact Call of Duty headquarters file. Maybe I'm just stupid. So the easiest way I've found for me to do it is at this point, I just close NvidiaInstaller very, very quickly and launch my game. By launching the game and let it fully load, then when we go back to that program file, it's going to pop up as recently used, and it's so much easier to just click on it there and make sure that we are setting up program settings for the exact game that we're trying to. So whatever your game is, just take this moment, open it. It's going to say it's preloading shaders. It doesn't matter. We can still close this game out now, because when we come back in, we're going to reload our shaders in after we've finished our settings. All right, so we're going to reopen our NVIDIA control panel. Here we are now. We're going to go into our program settings, and we are looking to add the most recent game, which is Call of Duty here. Add selected program. And now we can adjust some settings that will be specific to this game. Otherwise, we're going to keep all of the global settings that we've set, with the exception of low latency mode here. We're going to change this now to ultra just for in-game. And the other will be power management mode. We're going to change that to prefer maximum performance. Otherwise, all of our settings here are good to go from our global settings. All we need to do for those two now is click apply. All right, we're all set there. So now our manage 3D settings is done. Global is completed, program is completed. Nothing to do here. Configure surround, nothing to do here other than I changed PhysX to, I wanted to definitely use my GPU for sound and not my CPU. All right, change resolution. Just want to make sure that our native resolution is selected. Mine's 1920 by 1080, and then our refresh rate is set at what it's supposed to be. Then we scroll down here. We want to use NVIDIA color settings always. Just make sure this is set to full and not limited, and click apply. All right, moving on to desktop color settings. The only thing we need to alter here is our digital vibrance. It comes preset on 50. I run mine about 70. You can run this all the way up to 100, just whatever your personal preference is. Click apply. Nothing to do there, nothing to do here, nothing to do here, nothing to do here except under scaling, make sure this is set to no scaling. Perform scaling on GPU, and make sure that these are set correctly to your resolution and refresh rate, and click apply. Here under setup G-Sync, I do not use G-Sync. If you are using it, you're on your own. I have no idea other than to click enable G-Sync. Set up multiple displays. Just make sure if you are projecting with your Elgato that is selected here. It should be regardless because you have it set up that way through Windows. Adjust video color settings. Here we want to use with the NVIDIA settings. Just make sure under this, we don't need to change anything here or here, but under advanced, make sure this is set to full instead of limited. Click apply. I know this seems like a lot, but once you do this 2 or 3 times, you're gonna have it down, you know. So that way, every time a driver comes out, you don't have to think like, oh man, this is gonna be a huge pain in the ass. You'll get to where you know it like the back of your hand. All right, guys, and that's everything that we're going to need to do here in the NVIDIA control panel. We can go ahead and close that out. We can restart our PC, and then we are set to load into the game and allow those shaders to preload, and we should be good to go. Thanks again, guys, and happy gaming.